I scream, you scream, we all scream for WWE releasing talent. Welcome to another episode of the Shoot Brothers Wrestling Podcast. This is a wrestling podcast. It's online. It's hosted by myself, Cameron Osborne. It's also hosted by Mike, the Shoot Shepherd. That's right. That's right. Right when you think the wrestling world couldn't get any better. More free agents. Scour the landscape, folks. We have a great show coming up. We have our normal week, I guess. AEW is premiering this Friday, so we won't actually be talking about that this week, but we will kind of be able to cover Double or Nothing, which is on Sunday. The card feels like it's pretty full already.
Yeah, they already announced the buy-in, so I don't think they'll add anything else at this point. Just kind of wrap all the storylines up.
It's already at 9 matches plus a pre-show. There's one TBA spot still left on the Casino Battle Royal, which I'm sure will be figured out on Friday.
Sometimes I like to have the mystery.
Or sometimes it could be a mystery. You know, waiting for one of these top free agents.
The Joker, or however they do it. The Joker's the
yeah, however whatever they call it. I can never quite remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I said it to just kick off the show. WWE keeps releasing talent after only 7 weeks. I want to say everybody's favorite Raw commentator.
My favorite man named Adnan, I'll say that.
My favorite man, that's true. There have been very few people named Adnan who have commentated for professional wrestling. Adnan Virk, or Vic. I couldn't even learn his name. It happened so quickly. Was released or a mutual whatever. They're gonna have to fill his spot on Raw. Probably a good decision, bad decision. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean the guy. He wasn't. He had the enthusiasm and stuff, but he clearly didn't know very much about the wrestling or none of the characters, the moves really. He would react to little moves or not react to big moves, things like that. He seems like a nice enough guy, but the job wasn't for him.
It's a difficult job. We're not saying anybody can do it. That's why it's been the same people doing it this whole time. That's why it's been JR, Jerry the King Lawler, Michael Cole doing this for decades. Because it's not just something that people can, or Don Callis over at New Japan, it's not just something that people can just hop into right away and fucking get it. Especially play-by-play.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe that Tom Phillips comes back in the picture, but then it turns out today there was another release. Tom Phillips is gone.
Now, this one's a little bit maybe more interesting or different, Mike, because I don't think there has been an official statement about his release. Meltzer said it, which means that it's probably true.
Yeah, I believe it, but it's still surprising because, I don't know. Who's going to replace Adnan now? Unless they got someone else in the wings.
Isn't this weird? Tom Phillips, like we said, one of the good people at this very, very difficult job.
Yeah, I thought he's been solid on, he's hopped around between pretty much every show and he's always done a good job. So, I don't know. We'll wait to hear the details on his release because that one's definitely more surprising.
Whether it was on, main event, I'm sure, maybe 205 Live, like whatever it is, he was good at it. So
yeah. Should we talk about the other big release or?
We're still on it, baby. We're late. We're just waiting. We're full of releases. This is going to soon become just a podcast where we talk about people who have lost their jobs by the I had it right up here, the 2021 Dynamic Online Business Award winning WWE. So Mike, keep going with these releases. They did just win an award about being a great company.
Yeah, well, I don't have a list in front of me. I just is there any other middle road names before the big one at the end?
I think there was an NXT man, but one of those they haven't even made it onto television yet.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think those were sort of everyone in the middle there. It's just so hard to keep track of all these people who keep getting released.
Yeah, well then, of course, the big one, the Velveteen Dream. Is gone from NXT. Kind of, a year or so after all that online controversy, accusations came out. Obviously he was never criminally convicted, but the court of public opinion definitely turned on him, and there was no really going back after that. They tried to bring him back. They tried to turn him heel, but it just didn't buy. People were done with him at that point. So.
And NXT officials and Triple H and everybody still saying that it had nothing to do with that, and that their investigation of the event yielded no results, and this was actually due to like a personnel backstage story kind of thing, or like issue or whatever.
Yeah, I have heard that. Yeah, he was a bit of big head, a bit of an arrogance, had some drug problems. I think that people have looked up. He was he did have like a DUI at some point in the last year or so, or some sort of trouble with the law, not related to that other incident or the accusations. So there was stuff going on behind the scenes that he was troubled with. But most of us, I mean, we pegged him as a future champion, future world champion.
He was a future WrestleMania main eventer. I think that goes without saying too.
Yeah, so the fall from grace. I mean, the man's what, like 23, 24, something like that? I don't know. But
real young.
I don't know. I mean, he's definitely got a negative aura around him that's going to follow him around for a bit. Whether, I don't know. I don't see him going to any big promotion. Obviously, I don't think AEW or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't see any of the big promotions taking him back unless there's taking the chance on him, right? Unless there's some kind of huge development to the story or something like that, video evidence proving his innocence, but yeah, anything short of that, that's it for the dream. That's it.
He did kind of come out and make a statement or whatever, but basically just refuting.
Did his thing. That being said, Chris D'Elia's podcast is back up and running. So
is it really?
He's getting live stand-up dates in Austin, Texas. Kevin Spacey just signed on to his first role.
I heard about that.
In 7,
isn't it like a?
He's pretty much playing like a detective for himself.
Yeah, like hunting pedophile.
Yeah, he's playing a detective for a case of somebody who is wrongly convicted of. Yeah, it's a little too on the nose for me, Spaceman. You're gonna have to work a little bit harder.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The world. I don't know. That's about all I can say.
That's about all we can say. I think that was...
Yeah, I don't want to go further.
Yeah, I think that was it for our trip around the ring, unless you have any other kind of news pressing or something that comes to mind.
No, I think that was all the major stuff. If anything else comes along during the show, we'll get it.
If any more people lose their job in the midst of this podcast recording, the fans at home... we'll certainly hear about it. Well, then let's get into our Wrestling Week, shall we? Let's kick it off the only way that we know how, which is with crowning a brand new Tweet of the Week champion. It's the Tweet of the Week. It's the Tweet of the Week. Beep, 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 beep. Tweet of the Week champion this week going to a man who is... not only familiar with the Tweet of the Week championship, but also just familiar with championships in general. Whether you're, on Ring of Honor, whether you hold the WWE championship for, I don't know, some 434 days. I don't know. We all know what we're talking about. We're talking about the chick magnet himself, CM Punk. Solidifying himself into the second most reigns of all Tweet of the Week champions with 6 reigns.
Wow.
Which is incredible for him. When earlier on in the week, All Elite Wrestling kind of posted themselves, hey, very limited quantities of AEW Unrivaled Series 4 figures are now available at shopaew.com. Brand new wrestling figurines. People love them. You can buy one of Cody. You can buy one of Kenny Omega, Matt Hardy, Ortiz Santana, or Sammy Guevara. Where, that player slash coach, Chicago's own CM Punk had something to say, which was really just quite frankly, where the fuck is Britt Baker?
Here.
Where the fuck is Britt Baker? You're right. This has got to be one of the top wrestlers on the planet in her division.
Yeah. I mean, goddamn, Brandy Rhodes was in like the first series of those figures. It's ridiculous.
Remember when
Rhodes?
Remember when she wrestled? She used to wrestle.
No one cared. And Cody, he has like 6 figures already in that goddamn toy line, from what I've heard. So, Britt Baker, come on, folks. You can even do a 2-pack. Throw Reba in there with her.
With the cane and everything. You can do whatever you want. And she's been Britt Baker's been injured so much that you have so many accessories just like built in right there. You've got the nose, like the face mask nose cover. You've got the ACL knee brace. All like, these little pieces of accessories. So they have to put on the bottom, chokeable pieces. Keep out around your children.
Yeah, no, I see they come with like swappable heads, so you can throw up the busted open Britt Baker and things like that.
See, hey, now we're talking. Who's working over there at shopaew.com? Because I
think it's Cody.
It's probably just Cody there. Like, make another one of me. I got a neck tattoo. We need a new figurine.
I got a new shirt. Yeah, new tattoo.
Got a new shirt. How many figures do you think the dog has?
Probably none, but maybe one. Possible.
But it's possible there could be one.
Yeah. I mean, it's not out of the question.
It's really not. I forgot the dog's name, but...
Pharaoh.
I knew it was a one name or like a one thing. Oh, wait, that's 2 syllables.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 syllables.
It sounded immediately dumb as soon as that came out of my mouth. It was like I knew his name was one word, like most names.
Have you ever known a dog with 2-word name?
We always gave our dogs like middle names sometimes, or last names. I know we had a Jack Russell Terrier. She was Putter Rudder Osborne because when she would swim, she would make a little wake with her little terrier tail. That's like
spins like a propeller. They go faster.
Exactly. Yeah, we used to call her Putter Rudder. I have a friend whose dog is Darla May. So kind of like when you're being endearing in a close situation, it's like, hello, Darla May. But when you're calling her, like, when she kind of, you're like, Darla, come here.
Yeah. I mean more like just a 2-word name. Like, this is my dog, Trash Can. Because he eats a lot.
Especially when it's an object. Trash can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. It's not like a name like, this is my dog, Special Agent Jack Bauer of the the
like some people do that. They're like, this is Professor Puppykins.
Professor.
Some people have weird
this
names.
is my cat, Professor Puppykins.
Oh, yes.
Shout out to all the dogs with 2 names out there, and all those things. Well, let's go. Let's move on with the podcast, shall we? And get into our wrestling week. Let's go to a place where we're not talking about professor puppies. We're not talking about little terriers. There's only one animal on this show, and that's the big dog, which of course means we're talking about SmackDown Live. Okay, folks, it's Friday night. It's time for SmackDown Live. It used to be on Tuesday, but then I think it was on Friday before, though. No, wait, they used to film it on a Thursday and then release it. It's just SmackDown Live. A show with no changes. I mean, I guess Corey Graves kind of left a little bit while ago. So our commentary team here on SmackDown, I think, is pretty fucking set.
Yeah, I'd say you got a damn good combo there. Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, they both bring a lot to the table.
They both bring a lot to the table. But yeah, let's get into it. We're actually, I think, does the show kick off this week with newly appointed WWE official Sonya Deville coming down?
Can we still say newly appointed? I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while, but it's been a while since she's been hanging around backstage.
I guess she's the newest appointed.
The newest appointed WWE official, Sonya Deville, welcoming all of us staring onto our television screen to an extra special of edition of SmackDown Live, where she let us know that at the beginning of July, the company's going on the road, including their big first trip to Houston. Houston, Texas, July, still about a month away from that point now. Who knows what the scene's going to look like going on. However, on advertising posters, we do see the likes of Edge and Sasha Banks.
Hey, yeah, that sounds good to me. July 16th, SmackDown, and then Money in the Banks that weekend. So, going to have, I think it's going to be full crowds, full packed houses down in Texas there. And
notice how it's SmackDown going on tour, not Monday Night Raw. Like, they're like, hey, we can only back one thing to like guarantee cash. What is a guaranteed moneymaker? I don't know. Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll both be going, but SmackDown's the first one back.
SmackDown's the first one go back. It's, hey, 2 hours is easier, baby.
Yeah. So she makes her announcement. Then Apollo Crews comes out. Oh, yeah, he just cut some promo. I don't know. He's Nigerian. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, he's there with Aziz.
Yeah. And then Paul Heyman comes out to cut a promo and puts over Roman for being the champion of WWE. Mm-hmm. But then Bayley comes out and she says, yeah, I was the best champ of the Thunderdome era. And then she just insults everyone. So Bianca comes out, and then Shayna and Nia come out and they attack. So Natalya, Tamina come out. Everyone just fights.
In the classic thing, this was a good old-fashioned terrible segment that served very little purpose other than possibly reiterating the announcement from earlier in the day. And then, of course, I guess we had to set up a 6-woman tag, which, of course, coming up. And that seems to be a problem across, both Raw and SmackDown, right? Why not just announce the damn match ahead of time? I mean, isn't it funny that sometimes they'll announce like a championship match on a pay-per-view on their fucking Twitter account, yet like week to week they can't do the exact same thing and maybe saving us 25 minutes?
Well, the one thing you and I were both hoping was, I mean, now that Nia and Shayna, they're not even supposed to be on SmackDown anymore. They lost the titles, so this has to count as one of their quarterly invitations, right?
Mike, I'm so glad you brought that up. Of course, we are talking about the brand-to-brand invitational, which, as we can all recall, we are in the midst of Season 2 of the brand-to-brand invitational. October 17th is the cutoff day. And, yeah, that's exactly it. For months now, months and months, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax have skipped over this rule because they have been champions and allowed to travel back and forth between brands. However, their time is up. Time's up.
That's right.
Nia.
Time is now.
Hashtag time's up. The two of you have just burned your very first of 5. You are only allowed 5 in a calendar year. Braun Strowman came the closest, but it is an asterisk because it was Raw Underground, and we're still not sure where to kind of put that, but we will never forget.
Yeah. We'll probably forget this match. It was standard, breaks into chaos. Everyone hits their moves. Shayna ends up putting Natty in the Kirifuda clutch and taps her out. So, god damn it. Doesn't look like Nia and Shayna are leaving this tag division.
Not only does it not look like they're leaving this tag division, it does appear as though they may have kind of a rematch coming up in the sometime distant future. Submission match. Give us the submission match, right? We got that Kirifuda clutch. We have the sharpshooter. That maybe, it's not a popular stipulation for a tag team match, but I'm sure crazier things have been done.
Yeah, we could. I'm sure we could come up with a move for Tamina and Nia to do. Something simple. I don't know, an ankle lock. I'm sure Nia could pull off an ankle lock.
What about the old just lie on top of them? Is that one okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Then we get another candle-lit promo from Aleister Black. We're on to Chapter 4 now. This one was just talking about the origins of his tattoos. But yeah, once again, I'm ready just to see him in the ring. Mm-hmm. Enough of the hype.
Yeah, let's hope it happens sooner rather than later, because this can happen, right? We kind of sit on these promos to make them interesting, and then we kind of find ourselves in like a current Alexa Bliss type situation.
And the glasses still.
Glasses look cool. He's got cool glasses, and he's got kind of looks like a fake eye. So I'm on board.
Yeah, the fake eye.
Continuity, right? He left with one messy eye, so he better come back with one eye different.
Oh yeah. How did he injure his eye again?
Somebody did it to him, but he was wrestling for months in the eye patch.
Yeah, I remember that part. That part was fun.
Continuity, baby. We're keeping it alive.
King Corbin comes out, cuts a promo, and the continuity's there. He's not wearing the crown because Nakamura stole it last week, and he's been flaunting it, posting pictures on social media. So Corbin's pissed. He calls Nakamura out, but But instead, we see this this random big buff dude just playing the electric guitar. And Corbin just says, "Who the hell are you?" And he goes, "I'm Rick Boogs. I came to rock with the real king of SmackDown, Shinsuke Nakamura." And then he proceeds to play Nakamura's theme. And Nakamura comes out wearing Corbin's crown. So, yeah, I mean, this Rick Boogs guy, he's from NXT. I think he appeared on there like once.
Rick Boogs. Well, I mean, you may have recognized him as Rick Boobs. Boobs. I recognized him as Joseph Average, the former champion of the 24/7 title, when he was as an Old Spice representative.
Yeah, I did not realize that was the same. The mustache, though, now that I think about it.
Same guy. This man is a 2-time 24/7 title winner, which is one more than Gronk.
Yeah, so I mean, we've got the Elias on the other show, so this guy's a bit of a similar character, but I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he's going to be someone. Is he a manager? Is he going to wrestle?
Maybe he's just going to be a hype man.
They gave him the whole introduction, so he's somebody at least.
And Rick
wasn't like a one-time.
It was a weird name. I gotta say it.
Yeah.
Better than Joseph Average, though.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. If there was a crowd, we could better gauge whether he's going to get over or not. I could see people liking him.
Yeah.
But who knows? Elias was fun at first. But anyways, we get to a match. Nakamura, Corbin. They go back and forth. Corbin's in control when Boogs jumps on the announce table and just starts wailing on his guitar again. Corbin goes for the end of days, but Nakamura slips out, gets Corbin with a small package for the 3 count.
3 count for Shinsuke Nakamura. We were talking about, when will the King of the Ring come back? It could be sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I hope this culminates in...
It could be a fun thing to get us through the summer, I think, especially for getting more eyes on the show. You know, people already probably watch less television in the summertime anyways, so it could be the right time for it. Yeah,
maybe you have it in between. You're in between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam there, the dog days of summer.
Sure, yeah, maybe the King of the Ring tournament will culminate at SummerSlam, for all we know.
Yeah, that could be fun. Then we get Roman Reigns and the tribe coming out, and Reigns says he will allow his special counsel to celebrate him. So Heyman gets on the mic and just puts him over for being the champ and being the best. We close out with Roman calling his cousin Jimmy Uso down, but Cesaro comes out instead, and he's got his arm in a sling and cuts a promo. He's looking for Rollins, but he heard Roman droning on, so... Anyways, as he's talking, Rollins ambushes him from behind and just beats him around the ring. It even cuts Cesaro's head at some point.
Yeah, somehow someone got bloody.
Yeah, a little cut there, and then Seth hits him even more, hits a curb stomp, and then hits a second curb stomp onto the steel ramp. Yikes. And they bring out the medical team as Rollins just looks on with these crazy eyes. He's gone nuts.
Gone nuts. This was all fun and good. I guess, maybe kind of continuing the feud here with Cesaro and Roman Reigns, keeping him on screen because Roman Reigns needs shit to do as Universal Champion. Eventually, him and Seth Rollins will cross paths, but maybe it's not quite yet. What's our next pay-per-view? The Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
June, right? Mid-June or something?
Yeah, it's probably about 3 weeks or so from now. I don't know he'll need a challenger. So.
Well, and you're always thinking, right? We need 2 matches in the cell. It happens every year. We get 2 matches inside of the cell. And the more Uso, Rollins type of interference we see, this could be a prime candidate for that match.
Could be. Mm-hmm. Ray and Dominic come out, and then the Dirty Dogs come out, and I don't know. I think they had a new entrance theme, the Dirty Dogs.
Okay, I did not notice. I did not notice if they did. Not say that I've missed these things before.
It was more than just like a mishmash. Like it was still kind of like combining, but it was still like an original new theme. I think
Because Robert Roode had such an incredible theme.
Yeah, that was
the NXT that takeover Toronto when there was like there was like a choir singing alongside him.
Yeah.
It was a banger.
I mean, arguably more over than the man himself.
Arguably.
His entrance. Arguably. But we get a one-on-one match here. Robert Roode taking on Dominic. And Roode's in control early on, but he misses a big shoulder tackle in the corner. So Dominic follows up with a 619 into a frog splash, and that gives him the big win. Still big wins for Dominic early on in his career.
Yeah, still big win. And now being the SmackDown champion, we're going to get to see those that 50-50 thing where he'll, next week we'll get Ray and Dolph, and then Dolph will go over, but this week Dominic went over. That kind of thing that we do to tag team champions. We have them lose, but as solo competitors to only maximize the legitimacy of their tag championships. I don't really know. This was all said and done in 4 minutes time, maybe.
Yeah, pretty short. Not much there. But we go backstage where Jimmy Uso tells his brother Jay that he got them a tag team match booked for next week against the Street Profits. But Jay's not so excited. He's like, "Oh man, I gotta go tell Roman about this." So Jimmy's just like, "Man, stop being a bitch.
Stop being a snitch. Snitches get stitches."
Snitch, bitch. Yeah. But then your main event of the evening, we got a fatal four-way match for the Intercontinental Championship. Apollo Crews defending against Big E, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. Kind of the pillars of the division at the moment here.
Yeah, one of the strong. I mean, and SmackDown continues to be one of the stronger shows on TV with one of the stronger mid cards. Just hearing all four of these names in a fatal four way, this feels pay-per-view ready.
Yeah, lots of good wrestling here. Just fast-paced, high-flying, lots of beef though as well.
Oh, so much beef, so much beef in this ring.
So everyone's getting their moves in. Lots of big near falls. Apollo Crews hits a nice Death Valley driver to Owens on the edge of the apron there. But then Big E comes flying in with his terrifying suicide spear he does through the ropes to the floor. Every time I have a little heart attack. Because it just seems like he just flies. He doesn't care how he lands.
He's a little too top heavy to make me feel confident in doing that,
Yeah, like the weight. There's just so much beef. God damn it. Owens hits Crews with a big pop-up power bomb, but he kicks out of that at 2. Then after that, Big E hits Apollo with the big ending. He's got the match won, but when he goes for the pin, Commander Aziz pulls him out of the ring. So Big E has to fight him off. He gets back in the ring, but then the lights go out. Yeah, but it's not the Fiend. We get some smoke on the entrance ramp, and then through the smoke walks the returning Aleister Black. He's finally gotten out of that candle room, and like you mentioned, he's got the contact lens in his eye. He's blind, but he's here to fight.
But he can see.
Yeah, he can see the light. But Big E's not going to be able to see because he just gets nailed with the black mask, knocks him out. Aleister Black walks away. So Apollo Crews takes advantage, covers E, gets a 3 count, retains his title. But what does this mean? Is Aleister Black a heel now? And why does he hate Big E?
Yeah, what did Big E ever do to him? The Black Mask continuing to be, one of the premier kicks in all of sports entertainment. Gotta say, the way
so smooth.
It's always so smooth, and it's just
Right
one of
on
these
the button.
things. He's done it a million times. He knows what he's doing here.
Yeah, hey, I'm excited to have him back. A Big E, Aleister Black program, that could be fun.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this whole, or just another guy in this IC title hunt. Hopefully it's funny to see this fun return. And again, the show was only 2 hours. We only had 4 wrestling matches on this entire show. I mean, this last one took up what felt like, the whole last kind of like almost a full hour. This, with commercials and all that.
Yeah, definitely a big chunk. But yeah, pretty good match. Good, nice to see Black return. SmackDown continues to be the dominant brand.
Yeah, SmackDown continues to be the A show, no matter what our execs on the USA Network might say. That was our SmackDown. Let's move through the week onto the C show. Of course, we're talking about Monday Night Raw.
Let's get raw. Let's get raw.
The television program that's been it's technically older than TV. Vince McMahon, senior, started professional wrestling in the year 1521. And then, throughout the family lineage, eventually turned it into the longest running episodic television show of all time. It's amazing. Days of Our Lives can suck our dicks. Take that, General Hospital.
Yeah, they got nothing.
Those are all the soaps that come to mind. But we are just under 4 weeks until we do hit Hell in a Cell, so we know shit needs to be starting. This week Raw opens up with MVP introducing the man of the hour. Are we still calling him that? Bobby Lashley, flanked by just beautiful women.
Yeah, different set from the previous week.
A whole different set of 5 women. Bobby Lashley requires his women 5 at a time.
This is 2007 Tiger Woods Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, 3 on one side, 2 on the other. And that's exactly that, I guess. Because if I were a hot lady and I could, I could pick and choose maybe which champion I would want to be with. Yeah, Bobby Lashley might make the list. I don't know. Maybe Kenny Omega wasn't available for all we know. There was no kind of women operating that time slot. But anyways, they recapped last week's main event.
Yeah, they're mad at Drew for costing Bobby against Kofi, and so Drew comes out and just says, "Oh, come on!" He wants that title back. He wants a one-on-one rematch. Says you don't have any balls. Let me check with the ladies. Does he have any balls? They were very offended by his remarks.
Vince McMahon wrote that line.
Yeah, definitely.
Clearly, he just wrote that.
So the New Day come out to interrupt, and Kofi mentions how he pinned the champion Lashley last week. Drew just says, "You're welcome." Kofi says, "I didn't ask or need your help." So Adam Pearce comes out to sort this mess out. He says Drew McIntyre will take on Kofi Kingston, and the winner faces Bobby Lashley for the title at Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
So there you go. We'll settle that.
But they said at Hell in a Cell, not in the cell itself.
Yeah, we'll figure that part out.
Okay.
But, they're going to jump right into this match. Kofi, Drew, the size versus the speed here. And Drew, he once again hits an awesome Michinoku driver, which seems to have become a part of his moveset now, which I dig it.
Yeah, he somehow got stronger. I didn't think it was possible for a man that size to become a little more agile, but he found a way.
Yeah, but he loses focus after, he points down to Bobby Lashley, who was just kind of watching from the ramp with his group of ladies. So Bobby and MVP, they come down to the ring to watch closer from ringside. Drew walks over to them, gets in the face, so Kofi just comes flying off the top rope with his big trust fall and knocks Drew into Lashley. So then that pisses them off. MVP and Lashley just slide into the ring, attack both men, so this match is thrown out. Xavier jumps in to help after, and they hit Lashley with a Trouble in Paradise Claymore, knock him out.
Just knocked him out. Why, though? I mean, you gotta think your rage. And I understand the superstar coming out, the Bobby Lashley, you're a wrestler. You don't know how to control your anger. That's why you need managers. But then when the manager does it, you're like, no, you're the one there to keep the other guy in line so this kind of shit doesn't happen. That being said, Kofi Kingston is no stranger to the WWE Championship. He's held it.
Yeah. But will he hold it again?
Yeah. Will he hold it again? Only time will tell. However, these guys went for probably 20 minutes.
Really? Well, I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, there's some longer matches on this week's Monday Night Raw than usual, I felt.
Yeah. We go backstage where Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley are just talking smack to each other when good old Nikki Cross shows up. And
good old Nikki Cross.
Yeah, I've missed her. She says, I can beat the both of you. So Charlotte says, yeah, I could beat you in 2 minutes, but I've already got a match, so you do it, Rhea. So Rhea's like, all right. So we just jump right into Ripley taking on Cross, and they went with it. She said 2 minutes, so this is a 2-minute beat-the-clock challenge. So it's kind of unfortunate that Nikki's limited to just 2 minutes or less, but...
the clock popped up there immediately, too. They're like, well, this isn't a 2:01. No, this is 2.
So, yeah, Ripley just tries to use her size advantage and tries to work over Nikki, but Cross fires back, hits a little flurry of offense. So Ripley just gets pissed and throws her in the corner, starts pounding on her. But the clock runs out. The buzzer goes off. She's failed to beat the clock. So Nikki Cross wins, I guess. Would have preferred a regular match.
She's doing laps. She's celebrating.
Yeah, so whatever. I mean...
Which was also I mean, this feels like a weird one of those 50-50 decisions we were talking about before, right? Like, I feel like the logical thing would be have your dominant heel just beat her way before the 2-minute time, kind of crosses, right? But instead, they had Nikki Cross go the distance, and then while she's like running around the ring celebrating, Rhea Ripley's just kind of like smiling there, looking at her. Just it's kind of like, oh, I feel like you're less of a dominant champion right now.
Yeah, the whole booking of everything was weird.
Yeah, very, very weird with just it all. So who the heck knows?
Backstage, Kofi and Drew storm into Adam Pearce's office, and he tells them next week we're going to have a rematch between you two. Same stip, winner faces Lashley, but the Hurt Business is banned from ringside. And they'll be suspended for 90 days if they break that protocol. 90
days. Approximately the amount of time that when you're released, you're not allowed to compete for another or work for another company. Approximately.
But, this is without pay, so hey.
Oh, hey, wow.
Chunk.
Yeah.
It's like a quarter of your yearly salary right there.
That could be it, yeah.
Then we go to some women's action. Charlotte Flair taking on Asuka. Again.
Why the heck not?
I guess. I don't know. I want some different matchups, but as always, the wrestling you get with these two is going to be good. I've just seen a lot of it, but they're always pulling out something different, something new once in a while. Mm-hmm. Charlotte has started to use her fiance Andrade's move, that old... He goes for the big boot and turns it into the back elbow. Kind of like a Judas effect thing.
Almost like a little Judas, Eddie Kingston type of quick pop.
Yeah. So, a couple cool moves in here. Asuka gets her in the Asuka lock, but then Charlotte rolls through, holds Asuka down, and gets a 3. So they both pinned each other in the last week, right? They're 50-50.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they announced Charlotte Flair is going to face Rhea Ripley at Hell in a Cell for the title.
This is why we need power rankings, so we can follow a logistical train of thought. This was the longest match on the entire episode of Monday Night Raw. And while this match has been booked quite a lot recently, it's almost kind of like hard to get mad at it. Certainly I would love to see maybe we could have 2 separate women's singles matches for 10 minutes each, or would you rather just Charlotte and Asuka go for 20? I guess those are sort of the questions you have. I don't feel like there are many women on the roster, at least on the Monday Night Raw roster, who could put on a banger for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I just don't get
aren't many who can kind of fit in that bracket to begin with. And Asuka just keeps kind of continuing to be awesome.
Yeah. It's the title match that I don't get.
That you're most confused about.
Yeah, it's just at this point it's just the meme that Charlotte has to be in it.
Yeah,
Charlotte needs to.
Charlotte just has to. I haven't even looked at the kind of pre Hell in a Cell or the way too early Hell in a Cell card. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's it.
That's it. But this is Raw. This is the land of the rematch. So up next we have Shelton Benjamin taking on Cedric Alexander. And, you know, it was fine. They're going back and forth until Cedric hits the neutralizer to get the clean win. So at least the right guy won, the young guy.
At least the right guy won, the young guy. And I got to say, for whenever they break up the tag team, you know, at least they're kind of getting matches, and they're pretty good, I think.
Yeah, the in-ring work is fine. But, yeah, I don't know where Cedric goes. I feel like he'd be better suited down in the NXT with that cruiserweight type title.
Yeah, somewhere in the Cedric Alexander Kushida type of space. Because now that we've broken up this team, and God, we still haven't seen the Viking Raiders since that one-off. There's a bit of a hole in this tag team division right now.
But let's move on, because we got a fun matchup here. We got Riddle taking on Xavier Woods. And this was just a banger of a match, I thought. Just some cool moves throughout. Xavier did this really nice suplex where he transitioned. They were on the mat grappling, and he just picks them up off the mat right into the big suplex. And then they fight onto the edge of the apron, and Riddle hits Xavier with an attitude adjustment, John Cena style. But I think I can't even remember who did what there. I can't remember who hit who with it. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Riddle is out on the ground. Adnan Virk, one of his last moments on Raw, he says, "I've never seen that expression on Riddle's face before." And Corey Graves says, "You've never spent a Saturday night with him." Ha ha ha. Drugs.
Drugs are funny.
Yeah, but a bit after that, Riddle hits this amazing German suplex off the middle ropes, which sends Xavier flying across the ring, pretty much landing on his head. Crazy landing there. But Woods, he tries to hang in, but then Riddle pulls an RKO out of nowhere, and that gets him the win. I thought this was an awesome match.
Out of nowhere. You know what? This was one of the few times, I gotta say, from recent memory where two people with friends had a match that wasn't interrupted by their friends.
Yeah,
having neither Kofi Kingston nor Randy Orton. Randy Orton doesn't fucking care about fucking Kofi and Xavier Woods. He doesn't give a shit about these guys. Why would he come to ringside? This was one of the few points where it kind of allowed these two men to focus on their match, which is rare because anytime, at least rare for Xavier Woods, after so many years with the New Day, every single time he has a match, he probably has somebody ringside with him, or he is standing ringside for somebody else's match. And for years, for a fucking decade now, he's been doing that. So we maybe don't even know. Hell, I didn't even know that he could have a great match with anybody. With anybody at any time. Boom, we need a match out of you, fucking Xavier. Boom.
Yeah, no, this was awesome. No funny business, no trombone, just two guys going at it.
And as Matt Riddle continues to be booked well, we also start seeing that he can have great matches with anybody. That he can be incredibly safe but incredibly hard-hitting. We're learning so much about so many people this week on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, but, we were having pretty good quality matches in the show up to this point. So it had to kind of take a bit of a dive somewhere. Through no fault of one of these next performers, because, of course, AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, taking on Jackson Ryker. Nothing special here. AJ's in control when Elias comes flying in. I think, Elias and Omos were supposed to not be at ringside, but Elias comes flying in with his big symphony right to AJ's head, behind the ref's back. And then Ryker follows up with a very underwhelming finisher, the sidewalk slam, or whatever it was.
What's less attractive, that slam or the running bulldog finisher? Dustin Rhodes's.
I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, that's almost tough to like choose which one's worse.
But yeah, goddamn, Jackson Riker gets the 3 count on AJ Styles. Yeah, don't like that too much, but Omos doesn't like it either. He comes running down, and he's got some good wheels on this guy. Because he finds Elias hiding, and he gets up. Elias and Riker try to run off, but Omos, he's got some good agility. He runs up the ramp right after him. Those long legs of his.
It's like 4 steps.
It's like a giraffe chasing a squirrel.
A squirrel.
But he catches Elias and he tackles him into the LED board, breaking a little bit of it. And then he goes back to help his buddy AJ.
Yeah, AJ's a great example, I think, of 50-50 booking is just a fucking conversation of this whole podcast. We might as well just break down every single match in a 50-50 sense. Because to me, and I don't know if you feel the same way, AJ Styles feels like he is impervious to WWE booking. He could win a string of singles matches. He could lose. Hell, back in April, he lost 3 in a row to Kofi Xavier. In singles opportunities. Like, I feel like he's just so good, he is impervious to any terrible booking decisions that may come his way.
Yeah, he could easily he can go from a comedy segment one week to being in the main event the next.
Yeah,
seamlessly.
Yeah, he can go 3 embarrassing losses to a match of the year candidate just by like a switch just flicks on. Really, just I want to credit AJ Styles this week on just being so fucking good.
Yeah, hey, he deserves it.
He deserves it.
Then we go to Sheamus taking on Humberto Carrillo. So nice to see Carrillo back in the ring so soon after that little injury scare.
Yeah, a little injury scare, but he's fine, which is good to hear.
Yeah, he's fine. So they pick up where they left off. They go back and forth. Carrillo goes for the wheelbarrow DDT, but Sheamus holds on to him, and he grabs the tights for the illegal leverage and gets a 3 count off that.
There's a 3 count in a non-title match. So, nothing.
Sheamus, he's being a dick. He needs to defend that title. Even if he wins, just defend it.
Yeah, what? Because I guess, so, I mean, it does seem like every single week we're getting, kind of various championship opportunities. But honestly, it feels like the women's tag team championship is the one that's defended the most.
Yeah.
I mean, it's switching hands the least, but it's being defended the most.
Yeah, definitely. And then afterwards, Sheamus beats down Carrillo, so Ricochet comes out to make the save, and they double team Sheamus.
What was Ricochet wearing? I didn't notice this week.
I think it was the black pants.
Okay,
again.
We're still on pants. Ricochet's still wearing pants for everyone.
He's only got 1 pair of pants.
They got 1 pair of wrestling pants. For those of you keeping track at home.
And then we get our weekly Eva Marie promo. I'll kind of lump them both together here. One was her on a movie set, talking about being a hero, and the other was the in the gym training montage. Doing the rope things and the lifting, doing some squats,
doing some squats, running back and forth against the ropes.
Yeah. Still coming soon. No date set. No premiere date.
Yeah. Not only no premiere date, but I don't think any more excitement.
Yeah, I mean, we already. I'm assuming she's a heel.
Yeah, it's like either you know who Eva Marie is and you're stoked to see her again, or you don't know who Eva Marie is and you don't really care. There's no
there's a lot of people that know her and aren't stoked.
Oh, okay. Maybe I would fall in that category where I don't know who she is, but I'm also not excited.
There are people that know her and don't like her based on her first run.
Based on her first, 20 kind of mid 2010s or whatever.
Okay. I like her for the reasons I like Lana. I see the passion, and I want her to develop into what she can potentially be.
Right. Which is different than all other sports, right? Like if there was somebody on the Leafs who sucked, but they loved hockey. They are the first one in, last one out. They were Toronto Maple Leafs fans since the day they were born, but they're like minus 27 when they're on the ice. Fourth liner, play 2.5 minutes a game. You're probably thinking to yourself, get that guy the fuck off my team. But no, here in professional wrestling, we can feel that way about people.
That's right. It's one of a kind.
It truly is.
But let's go to the main event of the evening. That spot is being given to the women's tag titles. So Natalya Tamina defending against no other than Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax.
And for all sakes and purposes, just so we know, because I guess, Shayna and Nia are official Raw superstars, so this will not count towards, of course, this is nothing to do with the brand to brand. And also, Natalya and Tamina, this is their first kind of foray over there. They've never been to this school before.
And hey, it's probably a first ever main event for both of them on Monday Night Raw or something.
Yeah, it could be. Certainly Tamina. I mean, Nia, I feel like Natalya maybe... She was the SmackDown champ. She may have had a main event somewhere around that reign, or maybe in the Ruby Riott days. Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, I don't know. We've been saying it all the time. I hope this is the last time we see this matchup. But who knows? Reginald, he was told by Shayna beforehand to stay backstage, but of course he can't help himself. Mid-match, he comes strolling down. So Natalya gets Shayna in the sharpshooter. But then Reggie jumps up on the apron to distract the ref. But in between all that, Shayna reversed the move into a pin. So now Reggie is costing her valuable seconds. As the ref turns around, Natalya kicks out at 2. So Baszler yells at Reggie to leave. He walks up the ramp. And then this big pyro explosion just shoots out from the sides, causing him to fall down and grab at his eyes again. So he keeps getting... And just keeps damaging his eyes.
And this was where we actually did hear Adnan Virk's last call, which I believe was, "What an explosion!" It was something like that.
It was a pretty big explosion.
I mean, it was a pretty big explosion. But,
camera angles helped it out, I guess.
Of course.
Made it look closer. But, that all that chaos was enough to distract from the in-ring action. And Natalya catches Baszler with the deadliest move, the inside cradle, and gets the 3 count, retains the belts.
The inside, the roll up, the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. Sit down, Stone Cold Stunner. Get out of here, Tombstone Pile Driver. The roll up. See, the Undertaker just should have been doing the roll up the whole time because apparently it is the most effective maneuver.
Well, afterwards, Shayna Baszler's pretty pissed off. She goes over, she grabs Reggie, tells him that next week she's going to face him. And that is your image that closes Raw.
And then the credits pop up, baby. Mike, on the, I'm sure you've been in the shower, just kind of maybe coming home from a hockey game or something. You just kind of want, when you just want to stand in the shower and just kind of let the hot water just get all over you, right? Then you start looking around, the shower. Maybe there's like a little hair on the wall. You kind of like knock it off, or you can kind of like cup the water and get the hair off, and then you see yourself like, oh, like what is this bottle of Tresemme? What's written on the side here? You start reading the side of the bottle, and it says put in hand, apply to hair, rinse out, repeat process. And you think to yourself, but I just shampooed my fucking hair once. Why would I need to shampoo it again? Like, surely why don't they just make the shampoo better so I don't need to do it twice? That's how I felt this week in professional wrestling. Why did we need to see the championship match on SmackDown and Monday Night Raw when we could have just seen it on SmackDown and they just make that one better? Because I also think this was the lesser of the 2 matches. If I could choose kind of the 2, the Shayna Nia, Natalya Tamina matches that we had. Just fucking time to move on. It's just fucking time to move on. If Nia Jax favors Reginald, then boom, maybe this could be the thing to break up Shayna and Nia once and for all. The only worst thing that could happen is that they break up and then we get Shayna and Nia for the rest of the summer. That's the only worst thing that can happen right now, because I don't think it could get any worse.
Lather, rinse, repeat.
Baby, that's the women's tag division. That was Monday Night Raw. Mike, should we take a break right now?
Yes, let's take a break.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with a little bit of NXT coverage and, hey, a little top 5 in the middle there for you. So you're going to want to stick around.
Woohoo.
Let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah.
welcome back to the podcast here, folks. Part 2, halfway through the week that was wrestling. I'm just realizing now, Mike, this is an exclusively WWE show. You know, back the way that the podcast started.
Yeah, I mean, there was no AEW back in those times.
No, there wasn't. Back in the early eras of this show, you know, it was this rise of Kofi Mania. We'd have occasional New Japan shows that sparked our interest, but and even NXT was not the hardcore integrated product that it is right now.
Yeah, we didn't cover every episode of NXT, so yeah, as time goes, our show has grown and expanded, but at the cost of some other things. We used to have a lot of middle segments, but sometimes there's just too much content in the week. We don't have time.
There's not enough time to do one show a week with a middle segment.
Yeah. But, every once in a while things come up and we want to give you some bonus content in the middle here. We like to have some fun with these little games and lists and all that. So this week we're pulling out a top 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Shoot Brothers Top 5. One, two, three, four, five. We're making some lists and we're talking some jive. It's about the wrestlers and the wrestling things from the inside, outside, all over the ring. So much wrestling every week. We're here to talk about the best for reaching the peak. We like Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Dynamite. Keep the show going, cause we can talk all night. It's a lot, it never stops, but we swear we're never bored. Thank you, Vince, thank you, Tony, Triple H, the rest of Lord. It's an art, it's entertainment, it's the world's greatest sport. Now for no reason to trumpet, a little bit of Oscar in my life, a little bit of Sasha by my side, a little John Moxley's all I need, a little bit of Cody's what I see, a little bit of bubbly in the sun, a little Royal Rumble all night long, a little bit of wrestling, here I am, a little bit of you makes me your friend. Shoot Brothers Top 5.
And I think we're going to do the top 5 entrance themes of all time. You know, one of the most important things in wrestling, dare I say. You can have a great character, you can have a great wrestling ability, but if that entrance theme is not a hit, you just don't have the same impact when you come out, you know?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. There are so many factors looking into what makes an incredible theme song. You know, the sound, the first things the fans hear on a spectacular return from injury or from hiatus. You know, the way that it sounds when you get ding 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 and you've won a new championship belt. You know, the first thing you hear with the crowd pop. There's so many things which are so important for so many reasons. But yeah, like you said, we're top 5 theme songs. Now, this is going to be another one of course, if you listen back to the episode 100 Spectacular, when we ran through all of our favorites, our finishing maneuvers, factions, tag teams, title belts, the what ifs segment. So this is something we've done before, and we did not cover theme songs. And like that list was before it, this list, we're totally different things when we're talking about here. Totally different things, at least when it comes to, you know, favorite finishers or wrestlers or, you know, even belt designs. There's a very finite, but in theory, we could select, there's hundreds of possible options for these best theme songs. So these lists will be different.
Absolutely. But I have a feeling we'll see at least one or two.
Yeah, we always might. So, Mike, this of course is your brain baby, your brainchild. So, why don't you kick it off for us? Coming in at number 5.
All right. I mean, this is always the hardest one because you know there's a lot of close ones to make the cut, but you got to have a hard line somewhere. And I mean, 5 is just an easy, perfect number. the honorary even number in the world of numbers, you must say.
Yes.
Right? Everything divides by 5 nicely.
Nice and nice.
Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to have to start off number 5 with the Undisputed Era. we all know the guitar riff. We all know the boom. Just such a nice crowd play along. One of the greatest factions in wrestling history. And they had the great theme song to go with it. Kyle O'Reilly's rocking out on the air guitar. Adam Cole's doing his boom. Strong and Fish are just being themselves. A perfect song for a perfect group. Yeah, love it. Undisputed Era.
Yeah. Nothing more needs to be said. As you got right there, Mike, the evenly rounded number. For me, I'm going a little bit different in my direction because, of course, yeah, there's dozens of honorable mentions that just don't make the cut. And hell, if this was the Olympics, number 5 wouldn't even be on there. Number 4 wouldn't even be on there, but we're sneaking one in. At number 5, I am putting Judas by Fozzy. Of course, we were talking about Chris Jericho's theme over the last 2 or 3 years. Now, for me, what's so special about this song? It's the way the fans interpret it. It's got to be it. There's nothing special to this hard kind of rock song, which is different than other real songs that have kind of turned into entrant music, where I feel is that Fozzy is a band that only wrestling fans like. Not every wrestling fans likes, but only if you like American wrestling, you are a Fozzy fan. You are a Chris Jericho fan. You know all the words to Judas, and you're singing out loud, just as you and I would be, Mike. And I would like to. I think my favorite moment this song was used was the intro to Chris Jericho at Revolution in 2020, when he had the choir standing at the top of the ramp that kind of covered the intro, and then they went into the song. It was a great moment. It's got a lot of rewatchability up there on YouTube. It was just a cool entrance, and synonymous with Chris Jericho going forward. A man who has already had pretty iconic theme music just kind of adds another one.
Yeah. I mean, Break the Walls was a great theme for that era.
Yeah.
But I could not agree more about that Jericho Judas. The crowd. The crowd really helped. The first month or two, he had the song with it. No one was really singing it. I didn't really notice it. I didn't pay attention. But once people started cheering it, singing along, I started listening to it on YouTube, learning the words, and like, damn, this is a good song.
Learning like the 7 words that there are. Run away.
Yes. So with all that being said, that leads me right into number 4, because I did have Jericho Judas at number 4, the very song we're talking about. So might as well just pile it all on there. Fozzy, the only song that I'll ever play of yours currently. But hey, at least you got a hit. You're gonna have millions of views on YouTube.
I wonder if Chris Jericho has pitched to other members of AEW or the Inner Circle, like, my band and I will write you a song. I wonder.
It's like, so Cody, I got this great riff.
I got this riff. Just have another singer sing it so it doesn't sound like Jericho. Like make it work somehow. Although I do have it on pretty good, on very good authority that Judas was not written by Fozzy. It was written by somebody who sold it.
Some professional guy?
Yes, I do have it on good authority that was the case.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard some other Fozzy songs, and
this was a ghost-written song sold to them.
Well, it was a good choice, Jericho. You made a good choice.
It was a great choice. It was a great choice. I gotta say that. Coming in at number 4 for me. What makes this piece so special for me is less so the song, but the presentation of it all. The WWE and wrestling has come so far that just the entrance music can be an entire spectacle of lights and video and flashes of this and flashes of that. Because Mike, you and I even saw this entrance theme in full effect with lights, video displays cutting in and out, just the speakers of the Air Canada Center, and of course the thin layer of dry ice fog as the Fiend breaks through. That's right, I'm talking about "Let Me In" by Code Orange, the Fiend introduction, the hurt, the heel, the lyric, the soft lyrics in between as he slowly makes his way down to his ring, and for the fans, all the cell phone lights that are up, all the little fireflies up there. The song is so much more than just an entrance theme. It's a spectacle.
It is a spectacle,
and it was something that you and I got to be a part of the very first time And it's a special
The very
one.
best time.
Some would say the very best time. So for all of those reasons, it's a special track.
Agreed. Very, very good stuff. Speaking of spectacles, that's what my number 3 track here is, a spectacle. Especially when this wrestler first debuted. There was hype, there was buzz, but no one, you don't know what their music's going to sound like. But the first time he came out, we hear that little guitar, we hear the violin, and then Shinsuke Nakamura comes out with the most charisma you've ever seen. At least the first time we saw him. He's dancing, he's doing his little poses, he's Michael Jackson, he's Freddie Mercury rolled into one. But without that music, he couldn't be dancing along so perfectly and posing. And, they've had people perform live so many times. Boogs this past week was doing it live on the guitar.
Boogs!
So, they turned it into a rap song and then they brought it back. I'm talking about the original version here, The Rising Sun, Shinsuke Nakamura. What a track.
And he was part of this group of solid NXT players with great tracks also.
Oh, yeah, that whole era of NXT.
That whole era of NXT, all of their songs were perfect. Right between Jim Johnston and CFO Dollar Sign. When, Trips had CFO Dollar Sign and Vince had Jim Johnston. It was just totally different. Yeah, really ushering in a new era of professional wrestlers. One mic coming at number 3 for me is what makes this song pop for me is the immediate energy that comes after the victory. And for this man, victories are no concern of his because he's getting so goddamn many of them. This man has heard this track after championship victories in front of thousands to millions. Because, of course, I'm talking about the Flight of the Valkyries by Jim Johnston and Robert Wagner introducing Daniel Bryan. Not enough tracks bring a level of excitement immediately after the bell rings. This is one of those songs that the driving, it's a theme we're all familiar with already. We already know what the song is, so it sounds so much more accessible to us. And, you add the thousands of people chanting yes over top of it. It just, either one sounds weird without the other.
No, it's a great track. Very well mixed. The bass, the drums, it's heavy hitting. It's hype. It's yes, yes, yes.
It's everything. And but more importantly, more than that, it's Daniel Bryan.
Exactly. Yeah, I couldn't see him with any other musics.
No.
He still came out to that as the Planet's champion, didn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. Remember. Yeah, they just kind of put a little recycling logo.
Daniel Bryan, God bless you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm up to number 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, it's been all men on this list. So we're going to stick with that theme. But we're talking about the man, the greatest women's wrestling theme song in history. I'm going to say it. Becky Lynch. You already get hyped when she comes out to the ring, but when you hear that, whoa, oh, 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 you start to say, whoa, oh. And the guitar, the riffs, everything about it. I just love it. Love singing it live. The couple times I've had the privilege. And yeah, when she comes back the first time, that pop, when you hear that riff, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Babyface, new mom, Becky Lynch coming back to a big whoa. Don't even need words.
Gonna go nuts.
Just whoas.
Yeah. And then hey.
Yeah, that'll be big. Hopefully soon too. Hopefully
SummerSlam needs a big event.
She'll be back. She'll be back this summer.
I hope so.
Yeah. Just what show will she be on? That's the real question. Yeah, just where will she be coming back? That's a big one right here.
I don't know.
Okay, great, Mike. Coming in at number 2 for me. Another track where not only is the riff fun, but like I said, crowd interaction is such an important part of truly having a memorable theme. Because there's some themes of some of the most famous wrestlers of all time. You can't really sing along to it. They can't really hum along to, you know, Stone Cold coming out.
I also feel like singing along in wrestling has only been done like the past 10 or 15 years.
You know, they used to be just pieces of music, you know, but then somebody clicked in somebody's brain. It's like, no, let's get these people on their feet. Let's get them singing along. And this is another example of that, because I am talking about Shock the System, the classic CFO $. We are talking about the Undisputed Era and Adam Cole, because not only does this guy, we get the big pop when you hear Shock the System.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun and interactive. We got the big boom, Adam Cole standing on the apron, which also picked up with popularity as more people figured it out. Which is also cool to see. It started with like 6 guys there going boom. And now it's the entire stadium going boom. And of course, leading us to one of the top jeers, brags, taunts, whatever you want to call it. Adam Cole, baby. It's got to be one of the best taunts of all time. And he somehow gets tens of thousands of people to sing it with him.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've ever seen babyface Adam Cole yet. Like heel, or, you know, maybe in that Pat McAfee kind of interaction, he would have been the babyface there. But he's getting all these people to cheer with him as a heel.
Yeah. So imagine if he was trying to get him to cheer.
It would break the sound barrier.
All right. I guess that brings me to the big #1 song, entrance theme music in wrestling. Like you said, you know, crowds nowadays, I mean, there's a lot more singing along. They know the words, or a lot more songs even have words. Or, I mean, some of them are just real life songs in some cases. But, you know, some wrestlers, they're not singers, but they say, fuck it, I'm going into the studio and I'm singing this song myself. And you put out one of the greatest wrestling songs. The greatest wrestling entrance music, in my opinion, belongs to the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. He's not just a sexy boy. He's not just your boy toy. He's the greatest wrestler of all time with the greatest music of all time.
And
that's it, Shawn Michaels.
And Mike, you were the one who brought it up to me that I didn't know that was that he had sung in that in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's you know, the studio touched it up a bit. They threw in some chorus and stuff to help it sound better, but that's him. That's his voice.
Yes, it is his voice. It is his voice. And, you know, the iconic, you know, the little Tom kind of fill, the run dun 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 dun.
Yeah, it's got a big heavy track, the guitars. I feel like if he came out now in front of a crowd, he'd probably get some singing along.
Yeah.
Like people started singing along to Vince McMahon's theme after a long time. They finally started singing the "No Chance."
Yeah. When he does he come out to, I mean, when was the last time we saw him? I don't know if Vince, or sorry, Shawn Michaels. But I imagine if he were to appear, we would probably hear his song.
Yeah.
Like if he were to, you know, because whenever we see him, he's backstage at NXT. We haven't gotten that track in a while.
Not in a while, but
we're always one pay-per-view away from hearing Triple H's entrance music. Like we're always kind of like, uh-oh, it's gonna happen. It's gotta happen soon. Someone's gotta do it. Oh, that's great, Mike. That was a great #1. I feel like I knew you were gonna pick that.
It's just iconic for me. I'll never.
Yeah. I feel like I knew that one was going to come up. Well, Mike, let's get to my #1 here because it's a song that we haven't heard enough. Because see what happens when we get to the main roster, you can't have a sing-alongable song. You're a bad boy. We don't want people singing along with you. I mean, like you had just mentioned with the Rising Sun Shinsuke moment. You know, put the rap over top so nobody can sing it. You know, there's all these raps, but, you know, there's still a good chunk of people singing along like on that faithful night on SmackDown Live, the night heard round the world when he premiered. However, we are going a different direction with it. CFO $sign making their appearance on the list for the fifth time or something like this. Legends in their own right in the professional wrestling theme song. But I have to pick Worlds Apart by Sami Zayn. It does all of those things. When Sami Zayn was silly heel and he would skank down to that ring, there wasn't a single person in any arena, doesn't matter where it was, there wasn't a single person not singing along, dancing along, being goofy for a sec. It's got the fun horn section and just a series of woes and let's goes.
Yeah, very easy to sing along to.
And featuring one of the more iconic theme song moments in professional wrestling was a special episode of Moment of Bliss live from the Bell Center. You can check that one out on YouTube. Sami Zayn comes out to the loudest cheer he's ever heard, sits down, and then somebody restarts the theme song, and they do it a whole other time, sits down again, and then the crowd just does one on their own. It's like this 30-second sting that you can just keep repeating, and everyone's gonna love it all the time. And we don't get to hear it. We don't get to hear that so much. Hopefully when fans get back, they're gonna want to cheer. They're gonna want to be excited. You see Sami Zayn coming down to that ring, you're cheering your heart out.
Yeah, that was one of the songs that just missed the cut on my list. One of the best ones.
Of course, a lot of honorable mentions on all sides of the board. But I
mean, the song was so good. He threw out his shoulder the first night on Raw when he was pumped up doing a fist pump on his way to the ring.
Really,
just because of the music.
Dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he fought John Cena, and then he lost, and then he was gone for like 6 months because he got injured.
Jesus Christ!
But it was a great match.
Did not know that. Did not know that about Sami Zayn. But there you have it. Those were our 10 top theme songs, or 5 each. So that was an incredible list.
Yeah, I gotta say now, looking back at my list, I only had one track from like before the 2000s, even before the 2010s.
I mean, it kind of feels like it. Like, unless you're a big Limp Bizkit fan.
Yeah, I mean, there are some classics, but it is what it is. Modern music seems to be ruling the wrestling.
Yeah, it seems to be the new thing. I mean, of course, you were to think of old guys. I had my oldest honorable mention would have been the Hardy Boys. That's a good one. That one gets a good pop too. But yeah, even when it comes to some of the top guys of all time, like Stone Cold, it's the glass break, which is exciting, not the rest of the song. That's exciting. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, that was it. Another fun top 5 list. No. Fun to bust those out once in a while.
Yeah, another fun list. And that's it for the lists. Let's keep moving on then, because a week ago, we were told there was going to be a championship opportunity live on a Tuesday night. We're talking NXT.
NXT, what does it mean? I don't know, but it's some good wrestling. So NXT, watch and see. Gotta tap out a count out of 1, 2, 3. So
NXT,
where we are an amount of time away from In Your House. Who knows what that amount of time is? Nor do I care to know, because NXT is usually just weekly action, and of course we know we have this hot main event coming up soon.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple hot things on this show tonight, but we are promised that NXT World Heavyweight Championship match.
World Heavyweight Championship? Did the nomenclature change recently? And I was on.
I don't know. I just felt like saying it.
Hey, you said it. I'll just fucking roll with it, baby. I'll just roll with it.
Yeah, but before that, we're getting some tag action here. Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon taking on Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Some good tag team stuff. Ember has Dakota in this cool submission, but then Raquel grabs her off, hoists her up for the one-arm power bomb, but then Ember turns it midair into, I guess, like a modified version of the Eclipse. Can you call it the Eclipse if she doesn't do the twisting?
I thought the whole...
It's just like a stunner.
It's just kind of like a top rope stunner.
Yeah. Anyways, she takes her out, but... and then Ember and Shotzi, they hit Dakota with their cool... It's like a dominator into a cutter. I don't know what they call it yet, but cool finisher. They get the win. Then the heels are sore losers, and they beat them up after.
Boo. Yeah, so, I mean, now that I guess, these title belts are off, Shotzi and Ember, maybe one of them, maybe Ember Moon would be the next kind of choice to get a championship opportunity. Somebody's looking for it, and, I feel like she's been back here down in NXT long enough. Maybe she deserves a championship match.
Maybe. I mean, they did get the win here, though, so maybe they are still vying for those tag titles.
Okay, yeah, maybe trying to come back or something like that.
I don't know, but we'll see.
We'll see.
In the meantime, we got Pete Dunne taking on the returning Bobby Fish, who we have not seen wrestle at all in the year of 2021. But I guess this was also the debut of his entrance music. Nothing, pretty generic, but...
Speaking of entrance music, fairly generic. It's a good way of putting it.
But he was the last one to come out, so the Undisputed Era theme is officially at least retired at this moment. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't know where the hell Roddy Strong is, but...
off campus.
Off campus, yeah. But, Bobby Fish looked good. No ring rust. Lots of back and forth. Just grappling, submissions, trying to break each other's fingers and stuff. But Bobby has done in an arm bar, but Pete maneuvers right out of that and hits the bitter end, gets the 3 count. So, Dunne wins. I thought maybe Bobby, his first match back, you might want to get him a win, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess he's still...
I guess they don't have that big of plans for Bobby Fish.
Yeah, probably not. While it was his first match back, it was also a rare singles match. So maybe there was no need for him to win, especially against Peter Dunne.
Pete Dunne. Yeah, he's on a bit of a roll, Pete Dunne. And I think afterwards, him and Larkin just beat down Fish some more. And no one saves him. No Kyle O'Reilly. No one's there to help him.
Baby faces in the back to make it happen.
Yeah. Then we go backstage where Mercedes Martinez is walking around cutting a quick promo. But then behind her, we see Boa lurking in the shadows. So, is he scouting her or is he I don't know.
Boa.
But either way, I've been missing Tian Shaw the last few weeks, so nice to see him come back.
Yeah, it was very consistent for a long period of time too, and then they've sort of moved past.
I don't know. We get a promo from Hit Row in the studio. They just kind of drop some rhymes and make some disses. Right?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. It was like just good old-fashioned rap battle.
Yeah. I didn't write down any particular rhymes, but it was good. Flowed well.
Yeah, nor did you need to.
Then we go to the ring. Mercedes Martinez takes on Zeta Ramir. We saw hit that nice shooting star press a few weeks ago. But she's kind of gone back down to her jobber role. She hangs in there for a bit, but Martinez is just too much for her. She hits the air raid crash to get the win. But then as she celebrates, the lights go out. The room fills up with the red fog. And then the big mark appears on the screen. And then as the lights turn back on, Mercedes, she's now got the mark on her hand. So it looks like we're going to get some Xia Li Mercedes, which I'm into that.
Tian Sha. Or
maybe even we'll see the Dragon Lady fight. I forget her name.
Well, that's it. Mercedes Martinez is the veteran who could help develop the next group of NXT stars, and maybe Xia Li could get the rub. Tian Sha could get the rub, or the mystery woman behind the group could get the rub. That's exactly the way it's... I think that's the way it's got to go.
Yeah, look, I just want to see more. I like the way they built it up, so let's follow it through. Mm-hmm. But speaking of build up, these two have been going at it for the last few weeks now because Cameron Grimes and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, they're coming out to the ring for the $1 Million Face-Off. But Grimes just ends up pouring his heart out. He says, I want to know why. You've been showing up trying to embarrass me and just outspend me. And don't you realize, Ted, I look up to you. And the crowd, I love the crowd here. They just go, oh. They were so into this.
The NXT crowd is one of the more interesting crowds because it's clearly people handpicked by NXT to kind of be there, right? I bet a lot of Performance Center people with maybe Instagram accounts and shit like that. And to hear them, sympathizing with the greasy grimy or booing MSK, you never know what these people are going to give you on any night.
Yeah, well, I think some of them, there are a limited number of like non-contracted employees that are there.
It seems
like
as
friends
though,
and family.
Yeah. It's I haven't heard anything about how people get tickets, which to me lead to me believe like it's invite only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I love the reaction. They were sympathetic. Grimes just goes on. He's like, I saw that with money I can treat people terribly and they'll still like me. And DiBiase says, I like you, kid. I really do. I put you through that hell because when I look at you, I see a bit of myself. And but it's not all about the money. It's about performance in this ring. And you've got it. I've seen it. But since you've become rich, you've lost your focus. And like I said, the crowd was hanging on to every word of this, but they are interrupted by the asshole, LA Knight. And he introduces himself to DiBiase, just hypes himself up. But Grimes says, don't you get in this ring, you're not even a millionaire. But LA Knight pitches to Ted DiBiase that he wants to team up with him. And Ted starts talking about some of Knight's positive qualities, but that just gets Grimes all riled up, and he says, no! LA Knight, you can leave the ring, or I'm going to kick your ass to the moon! And the crowd was so hot, they start chanting to the moon. He's basically a full-on babyface in this segment here.
He's got to be. If you're getting sympathy, you're a babyface.
Yeah. But then LA Knight cheap shots him, and he hits, it looked pretty much like a Stone Cold Stunner.
He did it. He did that same maneuver in that like gauntlet eliminator thing for the North American title. I can't remember what it quite was. He's done that before.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's Owens does it as a finisher. He just does it as a move. But anyways, DiBiase then stands over the top of the fallen Grimes and says, kid, you're just never going to get it, are you? As he laughs and he walks off with LA Knight. So goddamn, that Ted DiBiase.
Goddamn.
It was looking real wholesome there. He had to turn evil like he always does.
Yeah, the whole thing just kind of being silly and over the top was fun. DiBiase, and we were thinking this for weeks. Yeah, Ted DiBiase handing over that $1 million championship, his entire legacy over to Cameron Grimes. That's the easy answer. But no, let's make it complicated. Let's give it some cojones. Having LA Knight, I think, who was someone they brought in to maybe to be a little more over, hasn't quite gotten it yet, and maybe this is the chance. I think a lot of people who are not just WWE specific viewers will get a kick out of this match. These are two people who have performed all over the world together and are good in ways that people who come out of the Performance Center aren't.
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's do it. The Grimes Knight, it's going to be ridiculous in a good way for a long time.
Yeah.
For a long time.
For the $1 million title at In Your House. Do it.
And, it's long enough to turn Cameron Grimes babyface. He hasn't been a babyface since coming here to the WWE, and who knows? He could be better suited for it. He had that crowd on the tip of his finger.
Oh, yeah. People love him. To the moon. You can put that on a shirt. You can do it all.
You can sell that shirt. To the moon.
Then we go backstage where Indy Hartwell is looking for Dexter Lumis. And she gets pointed in the direction of this little closet. Just this dark room filled with all of Dexter's art. Just drawings all over the place. The featured piece is from a recreation of last week where he's standing over top of Indy at the massage parlor. But he's got a knife right in his heart. Some graphic imagery here. And Indy just goes, "No, Dexter!" So the love angle continues.
Indy Hartwell Loomis.
Index.
But
it's time to move on because we've been hyping it up for a few weeks now. The world premiere of Frankie Monet. It's finally here. But right before she comes through the curtain, she hands off Little Presley to some handler backstage. So no running from the dog this week. But we did get a powerful in-ring debut from Frankie Monet as she took on Cora Jade. And she just dominates Jade and hits the Glam Slam to get the victory. I think she called it something else.
No, I think they called the Glam Slam.
Yeah, Beth Phoenix was like, that looks familiar.
Oh.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's hard to really rate a squash match. Because as long as it's effective, it's effective. Now, if Frankie Monet was 2.5 months into her NXT run and still doing squash matches, yeah, then there might be a problem. But, what's important here is that she was established.
Yeah.
Which is all that really a squash match can do. And then her competition will only get more and more as she goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think a few weeks ago they did a little tease between her and Io Shirai. That could be a big first, maybe a takeover match.
Yeah.
Then Bronson Reed comes out to cut a promo about becoming the new North American champion. 14 long years in the business, climbing the mountain. He's finally made it. And he just puts the rest of the locker room on notice. So Santos Escobar and the rest of the Legado, they come out. Cut a promo on him. He wants that title. They make a bad joke about Canada not counting as North America. Something like that. But then they surround the ring. They're ready to attack. So MSK come out, make the save. And the three of the baby faces, they clean the house.
Just clean that house, baby. What about him? What about him? What about him? What about Bronson Reed gives us a promise for the future?
What about him?
Yeah.
He's a good wrestler.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, just young. Don't really know much about him. Seen the few matches we've sort of seen with him.
Yeah, I mean, the promo, didn't tell you a whole lot about him. Just your standard, I worked hard and now I'm here.
I worked hard, I ate my Vegemite, and now I'm here. Yeah, it's sort of like I'm still, I feel like, we're just kind of, we just got to be open to the possibility of something cool happening, It will come.
No, I mean, who knows how long he's going to be this champion here. He could be one of the... It could be... I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think the big takeaway here was to go down the fresh road rather than the expected rematch. Yeah. I don't think we saw anyone in the Gargano family household this week. We saw Indy Hartwell. That's right.
Yeah. No, but no... Well, we're going to see him next week because William Regal announces that on next Tuesday's episode, Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano, triple threat match to determine the number one contender for that NXT heavyweight title at In Your House TakeOver.
At In Your House TakeOver, which is happening June some point.
Yeah, before Hell in a Cell.
Okay,
so
okay.
Probably like 2 weeks. I don't know. But before we can figure that out, we have to figure out who's actually going to be the champion going into that event. So let's just talk about the main event here. Karrion Kross defending the title against Finn Balor. Part 2. They got plenty of time here. This was like the final half hour of the show almost.
Oh, they got a full 20 minutes.
Yeah.
At least.
So, hard fought, pretty even back and forth. But, once again, Kross, I'm still not overly impressed. Okay. He's competent. He's fine. But I don't know. His moveset just isn't that exciting to me, Lots of heavy strikes. He's doing his submissions. I'll give him credit. I do like the Saito suplex. He does that nice. The big suplex. And then he looks for the big back elbow, but Finn rolls through, gets a big 2 count near fall. And then he tries to lock him up in this triangle choke of some sort. So he's got Kross locked in deep. He's fading. The ref is almost ready to call the bell, but Kross clutches on at the last moment. Raises his hand. And he powers out, slams Finn down, and then he hits Balor with the big elbow to the back of the head. And then he locks in a sleeper hold. And then knocks Finn out. That's the match.
The Kross jacket.
The Kross jacket, yeah.
And that was it for the technical submission via referee stoppage to retain that NXT championship.
That was it. There's lots of hot rumors going around that Balor might be going back up to the main roster once again.
Back up, eh?
Yeah. I mean, he had a pretty great run here in NXT. Kind of rehabilitated his image for some people.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, certainly, having a championship victory will do that to you. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of, I mean, I guess you kind of brought it up right there. Karrion Kross still not kind of doing it for you yet. It could be it's this weird NXT booking thing, I feel like, maybe, where at least in the era of NXT that I can maybe say like Andrade to now in terms of champions, right? Maybe Bobby Roode to now. No one has felt this dominant. Adam Cole held that belt for so many months, and he was getting, sometimes slimy victories. Ciampa was always getting these hard-fought victories. Aleister Black held the title there, but, I mean, this may be the most dominant NXT champ that we've had. I don't think I can really... I don't know who would beat him. Who could beat him?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
The roster feels, and for so many years, the roster was this little. The main event roster was Gargano, Ciampa, Adam Cole. Then Finn Balor came back into the mix. And then it was Kyle O'Reilly there. We sort of had this size limit of what our main event was, and we were getting 5-star matches all over the place. And the little Keith Lee blip, and then over to Karrion, and now Karrion Kross is here, and it's like, no, you guys need to get to my level before I'm going to lose this championship. I don't know. We could be just starting this reign.
I don't know. That worries me, but we'll see.
It could be. I mean, we're probably at maybe 50 days. Maybe. I mean, God. We could another 315, and then we will have this conversation on May 27th next year.
Maybe, but yeah, we'll find out who his next challenger will be next week.
Yeah, for that In Your House pay-per-view in mid-June. That was fantastic stuff. Before that was the whole week, and although we don't have any AEW action this week because it's popping up on Friday because of TNT NBA coverage, but we do have that Double or Nothing 2021 this week. So let's give our predictions right now. Mike, I'm gonna book the match here for you.
Sounds good.
Book the card. I guess I'm seeing here that we have a pre-show announcement. Serena Deeb taking on Riho. Haven't seen Riho in months, at least since that AEW women's tournament.
Yeah, she came back, and I was impressed with her. She looked better than I had remembered her being. So, pre-show, give them 15 minutes, let them have a good match.
Let them have a good match. I don't see a championship change here, but this will be in front of a live crowd, so there's going to be some hot moments left, right, and center.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Coming up next, we're going to kick off the show, just because, God, these things usually do kick off the show. We're talking about the Casino Battle Royal for the championship opportunity in the future for that AEW belt. This has all your guys in here.
Yeah, all the guys you'd expect.
All the guys in here
Rose.
that you're going to expect, with only one TBA. My kind of final picks, if I were to kind of narrow it down to that final 4, maybe final 5, Christian Cage, Jungle Boy. We're going to see Jungle Boy there. He's going to go the distance and do some incredible things like he normally does. We're going to see Penta, and maybe the likes of Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah, maybe even QT Marshall, who they've been featuring him a lot lately.
QT Marshall, Preston Vance is getting so much dark time. Everyone else in the match is kind of dudes in tag teams that I don't think will, stray too far from that. But these are usually good, and it's a battle royal, so we're not climbing the ladder for the big ring.
Yeah,
or the big.
And there's that TBA.
Chip.
We don't know. There's mystery. There's always a little mystery.
Yeah, there will still be a TBA. That's for sure. But we're gonna get to our next match. It's only the second match of the night. But sometimes the important people, they don't want to wait all night. I don't want to wait until 11 p.m. to have a fucking match. I want to have a match at 8 so I can get drunk by 9. Because we're going to have our 3-way match for the AEW World Championship. The first 3-way match in the belt's history, which is pretty fun. Kenny Omega will be defending against Orange Cassidy and Pac in what will probably be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. I mean, the referees in AEW already have a bit of lenience when it comes to shenanigans, but triple threat means weapons, anything's on the table.
Anything is on the table, and I don't think I've ever seen Kenny Omega in this format of a match before. I think that might be what I'm actually the most excited for.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great match. The crowd's going to love it.
Yeah, crowd's going to love it. Kenny Omega's, though, he's walking home as the champion. No one's stepping close to that thing anytime soon. Let's get to our next match. There's a lot of every championship within AEW is on the line this weekend, except for one of the most prestigious championships in all of sports entertainment. When we're talking about the FTW championship, we have Adam Hangman Page taking on Brian Cage in the Battle of the Rhyming Names. Adam, when these two met kind of like last week, and their kind of pre-match little brawl, Brian Cage still wasn't able to hit that drill claw on Adam Page. That's a big move. He's a big boy. And this is also a match kind of putting to head two of these undefeated single streaks going at it.
Yeah, I mean, the match, I'm sure it'll be fine. But this is one of the matches where, if it starts to get around 11:30, you're like, they might have been able to cut this one from the card. Put it on Dynamite instead.
Put it on the Dynamite the night before. And that's one thing that SmackDown did. Took a match off of Mania and put it on the night before, because why the fuck not? Like, it's a day away. I do like Brian Cage matches, though. So, like you said, it'll be fun. But if we hit that point where it's like, we should stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing you can say about the COVID era for WWE pay-per-views. They've all been a pretty easy watch, just like 2.5 hours.
They've all been a pretty easy watch.
Matches.
That being said, though, this is the first pay-per-view back in front of crowds, so maybe it's like, I think they're going to be hot the whole time.
Oh, yeah, they'll be hot. I mean, they only do pay-per-views every 2 months.
Anyways, so. Yeah, so, it's going to be hot no matter how you pull it, because I feel like, God, we're still booking this card, and I'm looking at these matches. We still have a bunch to go. Let's get into it. We have what will be that TNT Championship. We have Miro or Dante Martin. They're going to have a little match on Friday to figure that out, but they're taking on Lance Archer. And let's assume it's Miro.
I think it's very safe.
I think it's kind of safe to say that this will be Miro's biggest match yet here in AEW, I think. Short of, he did win the championship match last week, but I'm talking about more physically the biggest match he's had here in AEW. Lance Archer's a big boy.
Yeah. Here's how little faith I have in Dante Martin. You can't even click on his name to get linked to him.
There's not even a link.
He doesn't even have a pay.
Doesn't even have a link on his thing. Yeah. But this will be a big beefy match. Hope to see some good holds. And Lance Archer, both of these guys are surprisingly quick for being so big and so old. Lance Archer's like 44 years old.
Wow, that's a bit surprising.
He's way older than you think he should be or would be. I don't even know.
Yeah. I'm still a little, I guess, Lance Archer. Is he a baby face or is he...
We don't quite know, but I think this match will tell us. Well, if Jake Roberts had actually had a heart attack last week and Lance Archer made the save, that would be the babyface move of the century. Lance Archer.
When you saw Jake grab his chest.
when I thought Jake the Snake was dying on top of the ramp, but it turns out it was just like a weird camera cut. That moment. Yeah, he's holding his chest. This is gonna be a fun match, I think, either way.
Yeah, Miro is really turning it around for the last.
Well, let's get to some tag team action, shall we? Because although he's been on TV for 7.5 months, Sting's only had one match, and it was pre-taped. But now is hopefully an actual match. We have Sting and Darby Allin taking on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. This will probably be a match where Darby's going to be doing a lot of the legwork over there on that other side, but it's tough to see the babyfaces taking a loss.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's some nefarious cheating going on there.
Because it's either Sting gets pinned or Darby loses 2 in a row, and I don't know which one is better or worse.
Yeah, I don't know how far the team of Sky and Page is going to go, so... Yeah, let Sting have the nice, happy moment in front of the crowd.
Watch him get a win. I'd also love to see if this is the moment where Sting takes off the T-shirt and just kind of goes back to that, his kind of like onesie thing. And also looking forward to Ethan Page had that incredible promo last week, or at least I felt, on AEW when he just stared down the barrel and was yelling at us via microphone. So it'd be nice to see a good in-ring performance follow up a strong promo like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to it here. God, we're still fucking booking this card. Oh my Lanta. Well, let's just get to it because you can't have an AEW pay-per-view without having Cody Rhodes on it. And this one will be no different. Cody Rhodes is taking on Anthony Ogogo with their series of friends and helpers and this, that, the other. This is going to be another one of those Cody matches that we get every week. However, this is the one where Cody does the rub. Anthony Ogogo is going to be walking home with his victory. I don't know how it's going to happen. It might be nefarious. Arn might give a fucking, what does he do? A spine buster or two. But this could be the time. Cody's about to be a dad. Not to say that he's going to take time off, but we do know that the Cody Rhodes reality TV is coming out. He's got the kid coming out. If there's any chance for him to take a break, it would be now. And Anthony Ogogo, they've been pumping this motherfucker up.
Yeah, those body shots, they've been making them look like one of the deadliest moves in the company. So I want to see him just boom, 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 3-4 big shots, knock Cody down.
It could be. I mean, hell, remember that Cody Brody match where we're like, yeah, this is going to be good, long, and hard hitting, and it was like boom, boom, pin. Like, oh shit. Cody Rhodes is no stranger to surprising booking decisions, and this could be no different.
But he is bringing out the American Dream for one night only, so who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what that means?
Who knows? That
Maybe
could
that's
even
just
add more implications to the that match. Okay, let's get to it then, shall we? Because just passing, I believe, actually, the 365-day mark of holding the AEW Women's Championship is Hikaru Shida. And she will finally get the chance to lose that thing, taking on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, live this Sunday. We've been saying it for weeks here on the show, if not months. Not only does Dr. Britt Baker need to be the one to be the champion, but it needs to be tonight, or Sunday, rather.
Yeah, this seems like the easiest decision to book out of all the matches, even over Kenny Omega winning. This is the clear cut. It has to happen. Britt Baker needs to win this title.
I can't. Yeah, if you want women's wrestling to not die here in the company, now is the time to put the women's championship on Britt Baker. You know, sometimes shit just doesn't work. And, with the whole, with the 2020 booking just in general. I mean, I guess she won it in May. But either way, sometimes shit just doesn't work. And, and sometimes you're just, Hikaru Shida might just kind of end up being a number in the record books. Kind of like when Brock just held the Universal Championship hostage for 2.5 years. It's like you're looking at the Universal Championship kind of history, and you're like, the Brock doesn't really count. You kind of like scratch that one out. You're like, I don't really. Maybe the first one I count, maybe not the second one. And Hikaru Shida, hopefully she doesn't end up just being that, but I certainly don't think she's the one to keep going with this.
No, Britt's the heel, but the crowd's going to be all into her. Everyone wants to see her win.
Yeah, sometimes we can want to see a heel win, and that's no different.
Yeah.
Okay, coming up next here, Mike, we only have 2 matches left here on the card. Oh, boy, it feels like we've gone on forever. Well, let's just get right to it, because this will be the surprising booking decision of the night. Because it's not quite our last match. It's our second last match. We have the second ever Stadium Stampede. We have the Pinnacle.
Whoa.
Taking on the Inner Circle. If the Inner Circle loses, they must disband as a team forever. I don't know if that means they're allowed to put on fake masks and call themselves something different, or if they're even allowed to share the same locker room backstage. I'm not sure, but this one's going to be fun. I don't know how they're going to do it because, there could be kind of fans that they allow into the actual field area. But I see it being just as chaotic and fun as last year's.
Yeah, I mean, sources say that, it may even be start off as a pre-tape and then end up finishing in front of the live crowd in the ring. But either way, I'm sure we'll get a lot of funny, crazy, wild action.
Yeah, we'll have another Chris Jericho putting a pylon on his head moment. I
haven't thought about that in months. That was one of my moments of the year.
There was a shirt.
Yeah,
pretending to be a witch.
I have to look at that clip.
Yeah, we'll have another one of those moments. We'll have another. We'll have another Inner Circle dressed, having a similar ring attire. Last year they had football jerseys on, to kind of give themselves that look.
Oh, yeah.
It's something.
The Inner Circle, they love themes.
Yeah, we're going to be on different
outfit.
levels because even last year was pre-taped, so we could kind of because wasn't there a bit where Matt Hardy kept getting dunked in the pool and he kept coming up as like a different Matt Hardy. Yeah,
there was definitely some camera trickery. There was the Northern Lights suplexes all the way down the football field.
Yeah, and but this time the Inner Circle's on the other side of this coin, hoping for the win. And I would like to see the Inner Circle win just because I don't want to see them the babyface Inner Circle disband.
Yeah, I mean the Pinnacle got the blood and guts win. Inner Circle can win here, and then. I mean, law dictates they have to have the final.
That would have to be the final.
But I don't know where they go from there. What's the third step?
I don't know. Can they fight in space or something? Has anyone ever done an anti-gravity match?
If Elon Musk owned the company, they might be able to.
Yeah, what can we do here? Yeah, who knows? Yeah. But yeah, it seems a little too on the nose. The Inner Circle has to win because there's 2 6-man factions. So it sort of seems as though they are destined to go at it until we have a complete victor.
Yeah, but you never know in this crazy world of wrestling.
Never know.
I mean, if this was WWE, I'd be like, oh, yeah, they're breaking them up.
They're breaking them up for sure. They're breaking them up, and they're going to fire everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which means we only have one more match left on the card, which is our main event for that AEW Tag Team Championship. We have the Young Bucks will be defending against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Multiple shooty winners all across this match. Of course, the Elite is going to be nearby for some reason. The Young Bucks are going to come out wearing something expensive. Jon Moxley.
Fake Jordans.
Fake stuff. Moxley and Kingston are going to come out from the crowd. There's certain elements of this match which we know are going to happen. But I think one thing which continues to remain a mystery, who's going to get the win?
Could be Moxley and Kingston.
I think it could maybe be Moxley and Kingston. The Young Bucks they won this championship back at Full Gear when they took on FTR, which was last November the 7th. Mm-hmm. It's been a long time for one guy to carry the belt. For a company who loves tag teams, there are only a few tag teams who have actually held the gold. There are a lot of tag teams out there. I think I'm with you. Moxley and Kingston need to get the win. Imagine that. Eddie Kingston's first fucking... if Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley can get the win, this is going to be the Joe Sakic giving the Stanley Cup to Ray Bork moment. So Ray Bork could lift it first. We all remember there wasn't a dry eye in the house when that happened. Seeing Eddie Kingston raise a championship belt in a major promotion in front of thousands of people, that's gonna be a moment that we will remember forever if they book it.
I mean, they can book the win, but you've booked it as your main event.
I've booked it as the main, because that moment's going to be more powerful than anything else on the card prior. And they know it. Tony Khan knows it. He loves to watch people cry.
I mean, I agree on the emotion, but I don't think they'll put it in the main event spot. Mm-hmm. That's just what.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not saying it wouldn't deserve it.
Of course not. Of course not. Either way, whatever happens to the actual event itself, or at the actual event itself, it's going to be a banger. These guys put on good pay-per-views. I'm just worried about going way too long. That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah, it'll go long. I'm also worried about if the playoff second round could start that Sunday night, so I'll have to watch the game, and then
Oh,
I won't be starting this pay-per-view till like midnight.
oh shit! Oh shit! You're not even
Probably 11.
not even a dual screen action.
No, not for the playoffs.
Not for
Too
the
important.
playoffs.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
Too
That's
important.
right. That was the entire card, and hey, that was the entire show. Running a long one this week. Let's get to our final segment of the week, of the show, and of course, we were talking about the wrestler of the week.
It's the wrestler of the week, wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week, the wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week, the wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week, the wrestler of the week.
Mike, I'm going to kick this one off for you because, we were talking about him earlier over there on the NXT brand. It's an interesting thing when you're not over yet, and you got to work for it. You know, not only win over the rest of the locker room, you know, the fans in attendance, but the fans at home. And sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes it's quick. But I gotta say, I think this match this week, this NXT Championship defense by Karrion Kross, really put him over a little bit more in my book. And anytime he has matches, he's really getting there for me. And Mike, I think he'll get there for you one day too. I really do. I really do. Because you're already sold on his, the aesthetic and Scarlet. You're sold on that.
Mostly Scarlet.
Exactly. Like, you're already there. All you need is just, all you need is the right set of circumstances. And I think this week, put him over finally for me. It took him long enough, but I think Karrion Kross is over. And he's also the wrestler of the week.
Well, that is your right and your privilege, but I'm going to go a different direction. Similar type of deal, though. Someone who, that we haven't quite seen the limits of what they're capable of in the ring. And I think this week we got to see a lot more than we're used to out of him, because Mr. Xavier Woods had a great singles match there with AJ Styles. And, at some point he's going to get a singles push. Kofi and Big E had theirs. He'll get his one day.
I think it was it was Xavier and Matt Riddle. But yes, very good.
No, I said, yeah.
Wait, did you say Xavier Woods or Kofi?
Xavier Woods is my wrestler of the week.
Yeah.
And I said he'll get the singles push like Kofi and
Oh,
Big
he'll
E did
get the
someday.
singles push like my mistake. Sorry, misheard you.
Yeah, that's all good. But Xavier Woods, I think maybe first ever wrestler of the week for him.
Yeah, it could be. If not, definitely his first ever win as a member of a his own solo person. Yes, it is his very first wrestler of the week award.
Excellent.
Which is great stuff. Well, that's fantastic. Well, that means that's it for the show. Rate, review, like, and subscribe. The show's everywhere. We'll be back next week covering all of the, Double or Nothing coverage.
Yeah, on a Sunday. Don't forget, folks.
Don't forget, this isn't the WWE, but we're still working on Sundays. Yeah. We're still working on Sundays, and be sure to check out all that Toronto Maple Leafs action if that's the case. Go Leafs, go, baby. Mike, you take care of yourself.